Hello, I just thought I'd do this quick little video for you to show you how to divide by the monomials. Some of you are just getting confused on the process, and I just thought I would just do this up just to help you out a little bit. So when we look at this question, this is from Unit 20, number 19 in the assignment exercises. And what we're going to do is take each one of these and divide it by this. So I usually like to set this up so we can look at them all individually, and that will help with the setup of your answer as well. So we're going to take 3x4y and divide it by 2x3y3. So when we look at that, we're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to look at the 3 and the 2. And there's nothing there that we're going to divide, so when we bring it down, it's just going to stay 3 over 2. And because we're dealing with a positive and a positive, it's going to stay positive 3 and positive 2. The next one we're going to look at is this x4 and x3. So when we're dealing with x4 and x3, what we're really doing is trying to figure out what the x4, how many x's we can take out of both, because x4 really means x times x times x times x, and it is over x3, which is x times x times x. So what I can do is say, okay, I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by x3, but really what I'm doing is I am canceling out those 3. So 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. So what that leaves me with is this x3 on the top, or x1 on the top, and so I am going to leave that up top there. So that's my x's. And then what I'm going to do with my y's is the same thing. So I'm going to look here. I have y over y3. So that really means I have y and y times y times y, that's a dot, not a minus, on the bottom. So I can cancel out that y, and that leaves me with y times y on the bottom, so that is going to become y2 on the bottom. Alright, so that's the first one. Then we're going to look at the second one, so I'm just going to write that out and erase that so we can see what we're doing. So it's plus x3 y2 over 2x3 y3. So you can, there's no number out front here, but you can always assume there is a 1 there. So if I'm looking at the next one, so they're both positive, so our next one's going to be positive, and I'm going to say, okay, 1 divided by 2, well, that's just going to remain 1 over 2. Okay, and then I'm going to look at my x's, so I have 3 x's on top and 3 x's on the bottom. So again, just like we did on the last one, I have x times x times x on top, and x times x on the bottom, and then when I divide them all out, they cancel each other out, and so all my x's are gone. They've all been canceled out. You could say that they're like, you know, x divided by 1, x is 1, and x divided by x is 1, and x divided by x is 1, which 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1. So you could write that in there if you choose, but you don't really need to. Okay, and then I'm going to look at my y's. So I have 2 y's on top, and I have 3 y's on the bottom. So again, I'm going to look at that and say, okay, I have 2 y's on top and 3 y's on the bottom. Y divided by y divided by y, and so I'm only left with a y on the bottom. So I'm going to leave that there. So that one is then done. And then for my last one, so I have minus 4x Oops. My goodness, my screen here. There we go. So I have minus 4x, y 4 on top, divided by 2x 3 y 3. So I'm going to look at the 4 and the 2. And so I have negative 4 divided by 2, which will give us negative 2. And then I'm going to deal with these x's. So I have 1x on top and 3 x's on the bottom. So again, when I look at it, I'm going to cancel those out. That's going to leave me with 2 x's on the bottom. Let's go back to black here. And erase that. Go back to black. And then I'm going to look at my y's right here. So I have 4 y's on top and 1 y on the, or sorry, 3 y's on the bottom. So when we are dividing, we always subtract the exponents, just like I showed you here. So we're going to 4 minus 3, so that will leave us with a y on top and no y's on the bottom. And again, that would be like y times y times y times y over y times y times y. So that and that cancel out, that and that cancel out, that and that cancel out, which leaves us with the 1y on top, which we move to there. So your final answer will be 3x over 2y squared plus 1 over 2y minus 2y over x squared. The end. Hope that helps.